Preparing for revising. When should you start revising? Well, as soon as you can. It should be something that's ongoing, which is why I'm putting this video out long before the revision tutorials in September. A few things about revision. The environment is very important. Some of the traditional student practices, and I have to admit I'm guilty of all of them, are actually worst practice. You know, the staying up late to do the revision, the use of the stimulants like coffee, caffeine tablets. I know for me, studying is often accompanied by eating far too many biscuits. You do the revision, you don't do the exercise. In fact, to be most effective in your revision, you need to be, you know, whether you, if we're talking about Wimbledon or the Tour de France or athletics, you need to be fit to revise. So get plenty of sleep. Don't do the late nights. Coffee is great, and I'm saying this after having had a huge coffee this morning, but cut down on things that actually will affect your revision performance. If you're going to eat healthily. All of those things will actually improve your performance in revision and in the exams. But on to revision itself. There used to be, let's call it for the sake of argument, the Roman method. The method that was around in those ancient days when I was young and studying at school and university, where the view was that the human brain was like one of those great Roman memorials, there in stone, and you would keep the memory alive by what was engraved on those stones. And certainly, even today, you can find Roman memorials that have stood the test of time, haven't been completely weathered away, and you can read what was written 2,000 years ago. Well, the idea was that the human brain was like that. You engraved the information on that stone, and the better it was engraved, the more you chiselled away, the better it was. Well, they've opened up people's brains now. There's been a lot of work in recent years on how the brain works, and when they opened people's brains up, they found that there aren't stone with engravings on. They found actually the brain is much more like today's computers. So we can contrast the Roman model of where you repeat and repeat and repeat until it's chiselled in there, with one where you think like a computer. You get lots and lots of pieces of information, you connect them together and come out with the answer. They're like relational databases. All that information there, but with keys that allow you to draw out that information at speed. So revision, the scientists have discovered, really involves two processes. The first is condensing information. The second is connecting it. So as you move towards the exams, look at what you've read and written and condense it to smaller and smaller pieces of information. Now, even if you talk about the Romans, if you look at some of those ancient memorials, they didn't write everything out in full. One letter would mean something which people could readily understand. They used symbols like the symbol of the fish. So if it was a memorial to someone and there was a fish on it, it was saying to them, this is a person who was a Christian. Use symbols, use condensed forms that will come to the mind quickly and which will connect. Now, I like to use the example of Donahue and Stevenson. It's one of the few cases that people don't really need to revise because it instantly comes to mind because of that picture of the decomposing snail in the ginger beer bottle. Pictures help. And by the time people come to their taught exams, you can usually find that you just have to say the word Donahue and Stevenson and all the connections that you've made over time come in, that it's about negligence, that it's about the duty of care, it's about the neighbour principle, Lord Atkins, and the facts about buying the ginger beer, there not being a contract with the manufacturer, but tort giving a remedy. One word is the best. So Donahue and Stevenson, snail, and all the connections go off. How do you condense? Well, look at Donahue and Stevenson itself. You can read the full law report. Well, we need it in a shorter form to memorise it. So you'll see in case books there are just the key bits that are published. Or you'll see in revision books bullet points that bring out those key points. And if you keep on taking it down and down until the one word triggers all those connections. Connections themselves, very important, and this is why some people find mind maps useful, but there are lots of other ways of connecting things. Images, other representations of things in tables, in flowcharts, and I'll be talking about these as we move towards the exam. So representation important, verbalising it, talking about a case, talking about a principle. Now whether you can do that to another human being or you have to get a soft toy and put it on your bed and explain to them the points. But verbalising is another way of making sure that those connections are bedded down. Anyway, those are a few thoughts about starting off revision, and I look forward to making the next video as we move towards the exams later this year. Thank you.